Mr. Nanda Kumar, the founder of a company called SunTec, currently going up the ranks as a world leader in customer billing solutions.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for having me here.
How old is SunTec, and what is its core business proposition?
SunTec has been in existence almost for 2 decades. In the 1990s when we started off, but not in this form. The first 10 years we were only in telecom business, so we were into telecom billing software. In 2001 is when we realized the potential of a very flexible and customer-centric pricing platform. Utilization of that in multiple other industries, the use of that in other industries, we realized that potential, and we started this journey with the financial industry in 2001. So that's when we came up with this idea of relationship-based pricing philosophy in the banking context, and it's almost 10 years since then in the financial service industry.
So what you're essentially doing is copying what seemed to be very necessary in the telco industry, in terms of the billing information and dynamic pricing kind of infrastructure to banking. Is that how I would describe that?
Yeah, technologically, from a basic need point of view, both are completely different. So, leaving that apart, from a philosophical angle, if you really look at telecom, has been doing this pricing. Pricing was a very strategic platform for them, right? And all the product differentiation is based on billing packages or bundled products and things like that. So if you really go back to the very core of that philosophy, it's all about customer-centric pricing. Price based on what the customer can, what kind of value the customer is getting, or what segment of the customer you're addressing. So if you really look at financial services industry, it's more product-centric, and even today it is so. So if you were to look at prices of transaction to an end customer based on the overall value the customer is bringing, including deposits, including investment services product which they avail, and including other payment transactions, then it makes a much better framework for it to decide how much you should charge the customer, and customer also get benefited by spending more wallet with you.
At which point does a bank come to talk to you about getting the pricing models right?
It was in 2001. Actually, that was a completely different requirement at that point of time. That is for ING Bank in Netherlands. They wanted a corporate billing platform to be migrated to the Euro compliance. So that's when it was actually a build project which we worked with one of our partners to transform that into a Euro compliant billing system using our platform. That's when we started off with, and after that, when we realized the whole dynamics of the industry, that's when we positioned this for the relationship-based pricing. Since then we've been working with people like HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, and ICICI banks and people like that in India.
The underlying engine for this transaction billing and packaging model, how would you describe it? Is it self-learning? Is it how does it package the information and how users
to the end customer? To technology. See, technology is quite straightforward. It's like you basically, what does it do? If you have to do a customer-centric pricing, well, first of all, you need to get the feed from all product processors, all the basic transactions, and you get the feed from the customer profile, and what kind of customer segmentation, basic relationship between customer accounts, the entire hierarchy of the customer relationship. If the source systems are having that information, great. If it is not, they can even build that hierarchy in our system as a kind of overlay structure. And then with these two basic inputs, then based on you can define business rules in our system, starting with very product level. That means you just define what is the prices for at the very product level. Then you can personalize that to each customer-centric pricing. So it is to give you a very simple thing. So you imagine various product processors are connected and another customer profile, and then business rules, and then it will decide based on the policy you're setting how the transaction need to be priced. and this will take a little bit of transformation. You can start with a very small segment of products, which gives you maximum ROI, and you can then roll in various products as you go along, including your interest computation can be done within the system. So from a learning point of view, definitely coming back, this is, I mean, from a conceptually it is very straightforward. It's not, it's not a rocket science. But from a deployment point of view, because the business is not fully organized in that manner, it takes time to roll it out. But for some, people going through a core renewal or any kind of transformation, this is a great opportunity to do.
The fact that the modularization is done manually means that it sort of can be flexible to any business strategy or business.
That's right. You can stage the transformation. You don't have to go for a big bang approach, and you can start with flexibility. And also the reality is that it is not that the transactions are not priced today. It's not that there's no billing done today. It is done, but it's done in silos, right? And also it is very limited, narrow focus. So what you can do is you can pick up areas or platforms which has got some kind of business need, and you can put those systems into this centralized platform on a stage by stage, and the ROI will be ROIs are basically revenue leakage gaps. Capping, you can, because multiple systems, you wouldn't be linking both commitments from the customer as well as your pricing. Sometimes customer would have promised you X amount of business, but they wouldn't do it. But there's no mechanism by which you can go and review your prices automatically. Here it ties down both sides of the equation.
Okay. Where is best practice coming from today? Which industries, which type of businesses, in terms of billing, pricing, and customer relationship management? Excellent
question. In fact, one of our fundamental philosophies that this
billing,
pricing, and customer relationship is not industry specific. It is universal across every business. You have to look at. You should be able to price for any product or any service based on the value the customer is getting, right? So that is our philosophy also. We started with telecom industry. We are in almost 4 or 5 industry, but only doing pricing and billing of basic transactions. So we as a company, we learn from every industry. Right from telecom, of course, the pricing models are very mature, and they've been using this as a differentiator for decades. I mean, from 80s onwards, and so there's a lot of learning from there. But having said that, there's a lot of very interesting models we can learn from investment banking side, where they try to slice and dice in every dimension which is possible. So a lot of learning coming from there. And then the banking industry, some of the banks have done fantastic bundling, creative products and things like that. All that is coming into the platform. So it is all, I mean, we give you the entire functionalities, and all the banks are to choose is what is relevant for their business. And we give, this is one of the major value addition from us. We create these best practices, and it's not just product alone. We also help the bank to do the transformation in this direction.
How big is SunTec today?
We are quite large. I mean, we are almost 450 people and growing very well. And
how much of that? How many of those people are in product development, and how many of them are in?
Yeah, see, we are a very product-centric company. So we have got a significant, almost 150 to almost varying about 200 people in the product R&D part, development and enhancement part of the business. The implementation is we do ourselves and also with partners. I mean, our support will be to the partners, and certain situation we make use even the bank's own IT team. Train them up, we provide them the consulting services to enable them to deploy the solution also. Some of the big banks, they have decided to choose their own internal IT, so we worked with the IT teams to deploy the solutions.
And your turnover?
We are crossing about $27 million this year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nanda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manal. Thank you very much.